Assalamu alaikum. I am the Chocolate Sheikh, and this is episode 3. Inshallah, that is God willing. I would like to talk about being a moral man, right? Because in the last 2 episodes, I explained that I want this channel to be about men who are striving to be moral, right? Men who are setting a standard that's been given to us by the great divines, those people who followed God or followed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the best they could, right? The way they received their revelations, the way that they understood the divine, and how it is they tried to give us right guidance. Now, I believe that those persons were our spiritual Olympians, right? They came or they reached the level that a person like me who hadn't reached yet, or maybe can't even reach, right? Although I believe with much striving and attention placed on our spirituality, that you can get very, very close to what those people are. I know that I'm not that, and I know that the vast majority of human beings will probably never be that. That's going to be something that's going to be reserved, that type of spirituality, right? That type of closeness to God, closeness to the divine. That's going to be something that's going to be relegated, I believe, to probably just a handful of human beings, right? In our lifetime on the planet Earth right now, we probably have 10 people who are probably living like the Prophet Muhammad or like Jesus Christ or the Buddha, right? That's what I believe anyway. However, with that being said, I do also believe that those of us who are regular schmegulars, right, we should do everything in our power to be like them. We won't be like them, so what? We're going to strive to get as close to it as we can. One thing for sure, we can be good people. That don't take a whole lot. To be a good person, to be a person who says that, look, I may not be perfect, but I'm going to be a good person. So when I started this channel, one of the things that came to me, especially after the first 2 episodes, I was sitting here thinking to myself, you know what? You talking about moral men, somebody or some persons out there might think that you're saying that you are, and people like you, Muslim peoples or believing peoples, that you guys are better than us, right? That you guys are somehow, what you're teaching or what you're trying to say is that you're a holy man, right? You're a holy guy. So I want to make sure that I clear that up tonight in this episode. So on this channel, as I try to grow it out and we have these conversations and discussions, I want you guys, if we get to episode 1000, I want you to remember that you can go back to episode 3 and hear this old guy say, I'm not perfect. And I'm not talking about being perfect. So when you hear me talk about morality or being a moral man and having standards, standing on what you believe with both your feet flat, 10 toes down, and that you should not be ashamed to say that you stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or that you stand for Jesus Christ, or that you stand for the Buddha, or however it is that you understand the divine, right? That there's nothing wrong with that. Just like these other folks stand on what they stand on, whatever it is they stand on, right? That we believing people, that we stand on ours, 10 toes down, and that we don't have any unnatural feelings about that. We feel just as positive and just as strong and constructive as anybody else and what they're on, right? All these other folks and their foolishness, as we look at the world, if they expect us to tolerate their foolishness, then we expect them to tolerate us, right? So when you're hearing me say anything on this channel, I'm not talking about perfection. I'm not perfect, and I'm not talking about people being perfect. What we're talking about is people living a moral life. Now, what that means is that you're striving to live that life, right? That you have in your mind and that you have in your heart the desire to be God-like. You have the desire to be like Muhammad, or as Muhammad, right? To use perfect or better English, as Jesus the Christ, as the Buddha, That's all we're trying to do here. That's it. Now, will you have lapses? Yes, we will have our moral lapses. Will you be perfect? No, there's no such thing as that type of perfection. So when we talk about human morality on this channel, we're not talking about anything that's ridiculous on how it is that you should understand what being human is. We're not talking about being ridiculous. To be a human being means that you need to have a learning curve. The human creature is a creature that has to learn. And if you have to learn, that means that you're going to make mistakes. If we came from the womb perfect, then we have nothing to talk about. Humanity would be perfect. It would be nothing to talk about. All right? But the fact that we're talking about it means that we know the human animal's not perfect. And that those of us who've lived our life, even those who've lived experienced lives like myself or as myself, we know that it took time to get to where we are in life. And even where we are now, it's going to take some time. I'm a man that's almost 60 years old. I'm 2 clicks from 60 as I speak to you now. However, I'm not such a smart guy that I think that I know everything, because I don't. And that's the beauty of it. To be a moral person doesn't mean that you're saying that you know everything. That's not what we're saying. To be a moral person doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm better than you. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about each one teach one. As you get to know and you can live better, you try to share with your brothers and sisters and the people that are around you. And God willing, they could take from you, they can glean something from you, and then they could try to better their lives. That takes time. The human being is on a learning curve. Until the day we die, you're on that learning curve, right? There's no such thing as human beings that have knowledge and wisdom of everything, right? Part of being wise and being knowledgeable is being able to say, I don't know. You talk about something that I don't know about, or you're engaging in something that I'm not too certain about, right? And I have to creep into that, and I have to study that, and I have to come to the place where I can say, okay, I get it, I understand it, right? Life is that way. Right now, sitting here at 58 years old, I don't expect my oldest son, who's what is he this year? He's 32 years old this year. My oldest boy, my oldest daughter's 34 this year. That is 2024. To timestamp this, I think today is January 8th, 2024. And this year, my oldest child will be 34 years old. My oldest girl, my oldest boy, son, will be 32 years old this year, right? And they go right on down the line. I have 5 children. And what I'm saying is I don't expect my 34-year-old daughter or my 32-year-old son to be where I am in life at 58 years old. Impossible. They can't. It's impossible. They can't have the knowledge that I have. They won't have the experience I have, right? So I'm guiding them. Now, my father and mother are still alive. They're still alive on the planet Earth. And my father's 20 years older than me. My mother is 16 years older than me. So I know that when I speak to my parents, that I have to take the position of being the sub, and they become the dominants, because they are 20 years older than me. So I'm not going to debate my father about issues of manliness or some other issue that comes up that he has a grasp on that I don't have. I have 1 grandchild. My father has many grandchildren and great-grandchildren now, right? So now, with that being the case, how could I debate my father or talk to him about great-grandchildren when I don't have one? How could I speak to him about how you deal with your grandchildren when I only have one that just showed up here 15 months ago, and he's had grandchildren for years? So I would have to back up, and I would have to look at him to lead, right? He's the person that would have a better knowledge on that. So when we talk about morality or moral people or moral men, let's not mistake that for me saying that I think I'm better than somebody, or that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I'm just a regular old schmegular guy, right? Joe Negro from around the way. That's me. That's what I am. All right. So, on this channel, when you hear me speak about morality, that's all I'm talking about is morality. I want to be like Muhammad, on him be peace. Oh man, that's what I desire to be like. I would love to get to the point in my life where I am like that man, because being like that man in my mind and how I understand it would put me right there together with the great divine, right? That'll put me right there to strip the veil or the curtains between me, the animal man, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. God, highly glorified as he. That I could be right there with the creator and we could become one, right? And when we say we become one, of course, we're talking about one in purpose and those types of things. We're not talking about that I merge some way into God. So Muslims, relax. Muslims go crazy about that subject. But I'm talking about one in purpose with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the goal for a person like me. So again, when we speak about morality, we're not talking about being perfect. We're just talking about aiming toward the greater good, right? What is it that is in society that's the greater good for everybody? What do we need to do? How do we align ourselves with these divine teachings so that everybody can benefit in our community? Not so that we can say, I'm better than you, right? Somehow I'm greater than you. That I have something that is superior to what it is that you have, so I can look down on you and lord over you. That's not what this is about, okay? So please keep that in mind as we speak about morality on this channel. I'm not perfect. You're not either. And because we're not perfect, we're going to learn together and grow together. And hopefully we can share some things that would enhance each other's lives. And always stay humble. We'll try our best to always stay humble, always be loving, always be charitable, always empathetic. We're going to always be compassionate. All those things that we, again, would like for us, for ourselves, right? The way that we would ourselves would like to be treated by human beings. We're going to also reciprocate and make sure that we're like that for everybody else. So we don't want to look down on anybody. This is not about looking down on anybody in their lifestyles. This is about us delivering or giving out something that we think is good for humanity. And for those people who don't want it, then they can leave it right where it is. They don't have to get on this channel. They don't have to go to a church. They don't have to go to a mosque, a synagogue, or a temple, or any other type of spiritual sanctuary. They can continue to do whatever it is they're doing. But we're going to do this, God willing, and try to show people a better way. So I thought about using this term morality, and I thought about what I said in the first 2 episodes, and I want to make sure that people understand that I'm not saying that I'm perfect. You look at my life, you're going to definitely see some things that probably scared you to death. Like they say, the skeletons in the closet. Lord have mercy. I got mine. Just like I know you have yours, right? So let's let that stay right there where it is in the closet. And let's deal with what we're dealing with right here. Let's try to be moral human beings. All right? So that's all I have for this evening. If you find any value in what it is that we're saying, please like and subscribe. And if you have any topics that you'd like to talk to, or if you have any comments, you want to say something directly to me, leave it in the comments and we'll deal with it. All right. Have a good evening. Peace.